For the skylight, all I did was simply to create the angle, which is 45 degrees, get all the dimensions, which I already have. Now here, I had to adjust a little bit, different from the orthographic projection. Notice that in the orthographic projection, this line goes here. But investigating here, that's true, that line goes there, but you need to actually create this. I think it becomes a little bit different. That's it? Yeah. Well, that's the outline for the elevation, but for the section, let's see how we interpreted that initially. Yeah, for the elevation, we actually push this in, which is going to mean that we need to push this out a little bit more, which can be interpreted that way, or I change the detail somehow by simply starting my skylight there. So while you're doing your 3D, the nice thing about that is you can actually maybe change the detail as you see fit in a three-dimensional manner. So having done that, all I needed to do was to simply select this. So I drew this at an angle of 45 degrees, which you can easily do by using the protractor tool. Create your 45 degree. Let's say starting here. Reference angle, and then type 45 for that 45 degree angle. Once I've done that, then I can easily create my skylight profile. From here, all I did was I grouped this. So here's a copy of that grouping. Double click on it to edit the group, and did a divide. Using the divide tool, did a divide for the segments into 10 equal parts. So let's say if I want to divide this, I simply select the line, right click and divide. And then here it asks for the number of segments. You can also push your mouse so you can arbitrarily see the division. But I know I need 10 segments. So I can go here, and once I see 10, like so, I can click or type 10. Right? Sometimes it's easier just to type 10. So I can click here, and that actually divides this. Now, if you want to see the endpoints, you can actually go here under Styles, edit the lines or edges, and you can see here endpoints. So you can click that. Similar to PD mode 33, right? In AutoCAD, you can change or change the way SketchUp shows your drawing. So you can change here the way or to show the back edges, deep profile, extensions, and all that, right? And then you have values here that you can further change. If you want it to be a little bit jittery, right? So it's like sketchy a little bit, you can check that. So you control the styles here, and if you do changes here for, let's say, the edges or the color of the face, right? Or change the way, if you want to show the sky, the background, or the ground, you can also do that here. Okay. Once you made changes here, you'll see this rotating arrow. That means this style has been updated, and you just click this to save the changes. Okay. So if you don't want that, you can uncheck this. Again, you'll see this rotating arrow. So just simply click on it to update. So that's how you divide. Next thing you want to do is you want to add lines. And you can make a copy of this. So I'll select that, and I'll say move. I'll click here, hold down the control key, And instead of moving, I'm actually creating a copy, right? And I can say how many times. So maybe 9x or 10x, 10 times. That didn't go well. No, I think I just said type 10. I should type 10x. Now it doesn't want to do that. So let me undo that. And do it again. So select this. Say M. Hold down the control key. And it does a copy. And then I will say 10x. I think I got the right distance, but that's not the dimension. Let's see. Let me undo that. How many segments do I have here? Ah, I selected the wrong endpoint. That's why. I didn't go inside the group. So let me do that again. Delete this. I need to go inside the group and create my line. So I get the right endpoint. I think I got the midpoint, not the endpoint. So be careful. There's a midpoint and an endpoint. So make sure I get the endpoint. Okay, now I'm inside the group. Select this. Type M for move. Hold down the control key. And once I've copied once, I can type 9x. There you go. So that's using the divide tool. So you can easily, instead of drawing this line, which I can do, because I already have the endpoints for each of this, but it's a lot easier to simply use the divide tool. And then I can use, again, double click inside F for offset. So I did an offset for this. Offset it by 0.05. Now double click here and it will take on the same value. Okay, so that's an easy way of doing an offset. Now from here you can then do a push pull. You may push pull the entire room. I think I should have extruded the whole. I could have extruded this first before doing that. So it would have been a lot easier if I push pull this by the size of the frame. Yeah, I think I should have done this. Push pull this by 0.2 and then did this. Okay. So I can push pull it when I already have that extrusion. So that's the only maybe changes I would have done, which I actually did here, right? So you can see here, let me, so you can show hidden geometry or hide the hidden geometry. So if I don't want to see that, I'll just hide it. Now, sometimes how do you bring it back? When you hide a geometry, simply select hidden geometry, and you'll be able to select that and say unhide. But this time I just would like to not see that, so I can show you what I did here. So I made an extrusion with this offset down by a little bit, tiny bit, because water will actually need to flow down, so I cannot have it puddling here at the bottom. So I might need to place some caulking here so that water can flow downward and out. So just a little push pull, and then I did another offset here, divide at the back, and push this higher. So I have a nice frame there. Okay, and likewise I added this to support this particular frame. I added this here as part of the roof, so that will support the frame. Okay, so that completes exercise 2 for this house.